Passing is by far, I think, the most important skill. It's the basis for your ball control on the court. If you can put your bump out there, put your platform out there, and direct the ball where you'd like it to go, you can be a good volleyball player. You can have fun just using that motion, using your platform to play volleyball. But if you can't even control it with your platform, then the whole part of all the other parts of your game break down.
I think the most important thing when receiving, like Cart said, is your ready position. I like to keep my eyes in a constant level, so if I'm moving to the ball, I like to move without a lot of up and down. And as the ball approaches, I like to keep my platform in a position where I can see it always with my eyes, and that way you can get a nice hand-eye contact.
Okay, so then from there you were talking about, all this terminology, platform. I would take it that's the arms, ready. What kind of grip? In golf you change a lot of grips, and in volleyball is it the same way?
What you're trying to do is you have these two boards here and you're trying to join them into one flat surface. If they come apart, well then the ball's either going to go between them, you're not even going to touch it, or the ball will go off in any direction but where you want it to go. So you're trying to join these in one nice flat surface here, and as Carolyn mentioned, getting the meaty part of your thumbs together and pointing them down is what's critical. And then you can do it with a grip where you actually interlace your fingers, or you can do it as you were just doing it, Deanna, interlace your fingers and make a fist even like that. You can, probably the most common grip is to grab one hand with the other, again putting the thumbs together and turning them down. I've even seen a Chinese player one time, he interlocked his pinkies only, and that one didn't work too well. The ball was going all over the place. But there are a lot of different grips, and the most important thing is getting your hands together, your arms straight. Women have a real advantage here because women's elbows generally flex better. Men are kind of too muscle bound to get their arms straight, but getting your arms straight really helps. You can see Carolyn how great a platform she has out here, and that's where the ball is going to fall on this platform, is right here on your forearms. You never want to contact the ball on your knuckles. That's too small a surface, and the ball, again, you don't have any control right here. You don't want to get caught up high here either because you'll double contact the ball or make an illegal contact.
Hit yourself in the face.
Or hit yourself in the face.
Well, when you're preparing to pass the ball and you're ready to pass, you want to not swing so much at the ball. You want to work hard to get your body there, present your platform, and have a nice touch on the ball. You don't want to be swinging too much, especially in light of the fact that there's wind. You don't want to put it too high. You want to keep it fairly low, so you want to just take a nice touch on the ball and take a little bit off the ball. So by swinging at the ball, you're going to just add more pace to the ball, and if it goes high, the wind is going to take it, and then that's when things get kind of crazy.
What I try to do is look at the ball, not the server's eyes, but the ball, and try to concentrate on the seams of the ball, or even try to look through the back of the ball in an effort to get locked in, to get my focus ready. And then I'm ready for that ball to come, because it can't do anything without the server. So if I'm just concentrating on the ball, it's going to come and I'll be able to get to that spot and make a good pass. setting, you want to, the whole object of setting your partner is to try to put the ball in a good position for your partner to spike the ball down on the other court. And what you want to do is move to the ball and face your target. And in moving to the ball, you're trying to get the ball to fall on the bridge of your nose every time. You want it to fall in a consistent spot. Face your target, then put your hands around the ball, and then finally follow through. And so the most critical part of that is really the hand position. And I guess before we go into the hand position, I should say that this is not something that you can learn overnight. It's a really frustrating skill to learn. It took me probably 3 years before I really felt comfortable touching the ball and making it come out without making a violation, a double hit or a miss hit or a carried ball. So in the hand position, Carolyn can explain her hand position first.
I like to contact the ball with all fingers, all 5 fingers. And like Karch said, I like to contact it consistently in the same area of my forehead. That's my gauge with the ball as well. Now my thumbs are slightly behind the ball, my fingers are spread open, and I'm taking it on the ball. The idea of setting is to take it and give it away without holding it too long.
You're touching the ball with only the pads of your fingers, nothing more. You never touch the ball with your palms. That would come out like that, and that's a carried ball. So you never want to do that. It's only with the tips of your fingers, the pads of your fingers and thumbs. But the best way I've ever heard it described, your actual hand position around the ball, is if you took all of your fingers here and pressed them out, put all your fingertips together, press your fingers wide so they're all spread out, and now just pull them apart, and that's where the ball falls right in.
I've seen some people pass and then set with a bump style set. Is there any reason that some people do that and some don't?
I think players that are really not as comfortable using their hands feel a little more comfortable using the bump set. It's no different. The idea is for the ball to go up and down and to put it in a position where your partner can jump and swing at the ball.
Right.
So it's the same motion as a passing motion. You're preparing your platform exactly the same, and you're really using your legs to create that up and down leg motion.
You have to think of it as that your elbows are always extended, but what you see is it's kind of a little trampoline. You have pretty stiff fingers, and your wrists act as kind of a trampoline. The ball presses down against them. It looks like it's being sucked in, but just the pressure of the ball is pushing your hands down a little. Now your wrists are cocked, and then they just fling it back out. So your elbows should never take the ball in. But as you're moving your elbows out, the ball pushes down, and then it springs back up.
You have to just find a touch that you feel is comfortable with you. There's no set exact way to set the ball. It's just 10 fingers on a ball, and you can, talk about triangles, you can talk about squares, circles, whatever you want. You got to find a particular touch that you like on the ball, and then you work with that touch.
Well, now the fun part. I guess the most exciting part of the game is spiking, right? What do we do? What do we do?
Probably the one skill that everybody wants to do in the game of volleyball is to spike the ball.
Yeah.
Because it is so fun and it's so explosive and it's so powerful. Leading up to the actual spike, there are several steps that you need to pay attention to before you actually contact the ball. And the first would be the approach. And Karch will go over the steps of the approach and how you have to gather yourself, position yourself, get to the point of contact where you're going to jump and swing at the ball. and you'll be gathering yourself. Your arms will come back, and then you're going to come up, and your arms are going to open. You're going to rotate, and you're going to reach, and you're actually going to contact the ball as high as you can.
All right. So what do we do? You've passed the ball. Your partner sets it up for you.
That's right, and you're watching the ball. The whole idea of running to the ball rather than just standing there and jumping is so you can jump higher, but also to position yourself behind the ball. To spike most effectively, you want to contact the ball in front of you just a little bit, but as high as your arm can reach, because if you're trying to hit from here, it's going to go into the net, and that's not going to be a very effective hit unless you try to hit somebody in the face under the net and take them out of the game, but that doesn't
Which is effective.
So you're trying to reach as high as you can on that ball to spike it effectively. The approach puts you in that position, and so a normal approach, both for indoor volleyball on the hardwood and out on the beach in the sand, is a four-step approach. Kind of take a small step with your right leg, and then this is of course for a right-handed hitter now. With your left leg, it's really a powerful step into your crouch. So it's like that, and now your third and fourth steps were just this crouch here, and you're now into position to begin your jump.
What he's talked about, gathering your last two steps are position you to be explosive and to use your legs to jump up as high as you can. Now, from this position, your arms are back, you're going to come up straight and fairly tight to your body so that everything's kind of compact. You're going to come up, and your elbow, the idea now is for your elbow to come up as high as it can come into a striking position. Your shoulders are going to slightly open up so that you have some power behind your ball, and you're going to lead with your elbow and reach as high as you can and contact the ball, and you're looking for the top of the ball as high as you possibly can contact it.
Where do you contact the ball when you actually hit it?
When I'm actually hitting it,
on your hand.
I'm trying to get my hand on top of the ball, so it's somewhat behind. The follow-through motion will be on top of the ball.
So a spiking motion is almost like throwing a ball, but contacting.
Or much like a tennis serve, also a kind of a combination of those. The actual spike, once you've approached and jumped, is a snapping of a lot of things. Your wrist is snapping over the ball to put topspin on it to keep it going down and into the court. You always want to hit into the court. Your elbow is extending. A lot of people use this, their pectoral muscle, to get extra strength in it. A lot of people also snap with their abdomen. So you put all those four together, and it's this kind of motion.
Now, I have a habit of carrying into the net, and I've seen you hit before, and I think it was probably about a 3.2 on the Richter scale. I mean, you slam the thing in the sand. But my problem is, I come up and I hit the net. So in the part where you plant, how far away do you want to be from the net?
Well, I think ideally you want the ball to not be so close to the net. So that's something you need to communicate with your setter, your partner.
Okay.
So that you're hitting the ball about this distance from the net ideally.
Right.
Now the idea again is to have the high elbow and to make sure that the timing of your jump is such that you're able to contact it high at the peak of your jump. So all those things are very difficult. It takes a lot of time, and practice to get the timing of this down.
And if you're to do it without the jump, this is kind of in a slow motion how it would look in this extension with the wrist and your arm and everything coming together. It's kind of a snapping over the top of the ball. So you give it top spin. When you're playing with the wind a lot of times, you need that top spin to keep the ball going down if you're hitting the ball hard. So we're going to do a little demonstration now, and just to recap, we have the approach coming in, four-step approach, jumping with your arms and your legs, and finally when you position yourself behind that ball, you want to reach and snap. And so to warm up a little bit here, after we've already done our stretching and everything else, just going to do a few easy hits over the net. Carolyn's going to be setting me like that. And I'm trying to snap over the top with top spin and keep the ball diving down into the court. Couple more. Okay, now we're going to have Carolyn hit a couple and show her four-step approach. She's going to warm up slowly here. Nice hit. You're not supposed to hit harder than I did, Carolyn. Without a warm-up. Okay, after a couple more, we're going to do a drill that we like to use. And that is, I'm going to put the ball, one of the things in spiking that you want to do is position yourself so you can hit any shot, angle or line, a soft shot, anything like that. So once Carolyn goes up in the air, I'm going to call a shot for her to hit, line or angle. And I'm not going to tell her until the latest possible moment so that she's ready to hit any of those shots, and she'll show us what she can do.
Where?
Angle.
Where?
Angle. So notice how she's got the ball placed in front of her head about 6 inches, as high as she can reach every time. Line. Nice hit. Line. Bad set. Nice save. Well, if you think hitting the ball 100 miles an hour straight down to the sand is spectacular, wait till you see blocks that go. Take that 100-mile-per-hour spike and put it right back into her or his face. It's a really fun skill to perform. So we're going to try a little of that. To block, you need to have a good ready position. You need to be able to move to the spot where you're actually going to block the ball, and then jump and penetrate. Some of the things you're looking for, first of all, you want to watch the ball go up into the air, and that's because it can't go anywhere without the hitter. So you watch the ball until maybe the top of its arc, and then you know where it's going to fall. After that, you have to wrench your eyes off the ball and look at the hitter for clues. Which direction the hitter approached from. Is she a hard hitter? Does she like to hit the angle? Is which way her shoulders or his shoulders are facing? Those are some of the clues you look for when you're actually, as you're actually watching the hitter come in and you're jumping. But the most important thing to do is to penetrate over the net. Rather than getting up as high as you possibly can, it's getting over as far as you possibly can to cut off as much angle that the opposing hitter has as possible. So we're going to put that together with my ready position and watching the ball go up and reading the hitter in a drill here where Carolyn's going to step under the net. And she's going to toss the ball a little to her. If she tosses it to her left, she's going to hit it that way, and I have to move to the ball and then read her turning her shoulders in that direction and take that shot away. If she tosses it a little to her right, then I have to again read the shot and move in that direction, and she's going to randomly change it, either go to her left or her right, and I have to react accordingly. My ready position is a little closer than Carolyn's, and that's about 18 inches off the net. I have my hands, as she mentioned, about shoulder height. I just want to watch the ball go up, move to it, and reach over the net. Now she's put one shot in each direction, and I'm trying to reach and penetrate the net as far as I can. And that's in an effort not to, one of the cardinal sins in blocking is never allow the ball to fall between you and the net. If you penetrate the net well, that ball will never go between you and fall down where you'll never be able to play it. Now, Carolyn's going to hit a few shots and try to be totally deceptive, and I'm going to try to look at her and read which way she's hitting the ball. She's going to try to avoid my block and hit the ball around me.
Of course, it's not an easy thing to do.
And what I'm looking for mainly now, as she throws the ball up, are clues to which direction she's going. Her shoulders are usually giving away the shot that she wants to hit. If she faces that direction, 95% of hitters who are facing that direction hit that way.
Good.
first thing you want to think about in serving is that this is the only play in volleyball where nobody else controls what you do with a prior play of the ball. So you have complete control over what you're going to do. This is a great opportunity for you to score quick points, to put the opponents in trouble, and it's a skill that a lot of people ignore too much. We've got to concentrate a lot more on serving than most people think about. But you have a ready position. You want to be facing your target. None of this tricky stuff where you're looking there and serving over your head when you're beginning and learning how to serve, because first you want to learn how to serve to a spot. Later on you can be deceptive. And that's facing your target. The next is where you contact the ball, and third is contact how you follow through. But to begin with, as in my setup, I have my foot facing the target, and I have my hand facing the target. Everything is facing the target. I'm not trying to fool anybody. In fact, you can almost use that to try to intimidate opponents. You're almost staring them down and saying, look, I'm coming at you with the ball right now. And that's how I set up. Then there's the contact of the ball.
I think probably most importantly in contacting the ball, again, is the high elbow. And contacting the ball should be in front of your body so that you have good vision of where the ball is, and how you're contacting the ball. The surface of your hand, your whole palm in the float serve should contact the ball, and again, in front of your body. So you're bringing your arm back to striking position, and the actual contact is in front of your body and as high as you can reach for a more direct serve. And the toss is very important in that execution. You have to have a nice up and down toss so that when you move forward into the ball, you're contacting it as high and as in front of your body as you possibly can.
A lot of beginners actually start with an underhand serve, but I think beginners can be just as effective, or probably more so, learning right away a little bit more difficult technique, but one that's a lot more effective. And float, meaning like a knuckleball. If you hit the ball without any spin, especially with the wind is now coming this direction. If you hit it into that wind with no spin, I don't know where the ball is going, and if I don't know, that's good, because they don't know either, and hopefully it'll fall down onto the court untouched. So the third part, after talking about the contact, the last is the follow through on the overhand float serve. You want to have a very quick follow through, almost no follow through at all, because the more you follow through, the more you're going to impart spin on the ball. You don't want to impart spin on the ball right now. You want it to float away. So it's just a very quick wrap of the ball. As Carolyn mentioned, high above your head, as high as you can reach, and a little out in front of you.
I think a really exciting part of volleyball is the jump serve. I think a quick way to score some points.
It's something that we really didn't see until maybe the 1984 Olympics. The Brazilians used it a lot indoors, and now it's turned into a big weapon on the beach because there are only 2 players who can cover that whole big area of court here. And there are so many spots, open spots, that you want to aim your serve between the players or down the lines. And if you hit it hard like you can in a jump serve, get a lot of aces. One of the things you have to think about here, it's really like spiking, but from the 30-foot line. You see 10-foot line hitting, back row hitting indoors. Well, this is just moving it back a little. And now in a spike, you hit the ball out in front of you. But in this case, you're spiking the ball from so far back that you actually have to contact the ball behind your head a little, so it goes up, crosses the net, then drops down. There are a lot of different ways to toss it to yourself now that you're setting yourself on this so-called spike from the 30-foot line. And Carolyn's going to explain what she likes to do on her toss and where she likes to aim the ball.
Right. It is an attack. It's a part of the game that you can score points fast, and you can be aggressive and put the opposing team on the defensive. So what I would like to do, say for instance, I want to split the 2 passers. I want to serve down the middle of the court. So what I do is I try to focus on a point on the court where I want to serve. I start with my dominant leg back, which is my left leg, and I hold the ball, the point of the ball in front of me, and that focuses me in on the point that I want to serve the ball. So this is like a zoning target for me. I see in front of me where I want to serve the ball's in front of me, and my toss will be with my right hand and in front of me, so that my approach will be 1 step together. I'm going to contact it as high as I can, jump as high as I can, and try to go for the point on the other side of the net where I want to serve.
Do you try to put a lot of spin on it when you toss it up?
I do. I like a spin, especially with the wind, because it seems to make a nice consistent turn of the ball for me, so that when I go to jump, it's moving in the direction that I want it to go.
That's the perfect
There it
serve,
is.
right down the middle of the court between two players. Nice serving.
That's good. And the idea to keep in mind with this serve is if it's very windy, you might have to lower your toss. But find a toss that's comfortable for you and try to make it same each and every time you toss the ball.
What I noticed that Carolyn likes to toss the ball a little higher than I do, and I also like to toss the ball with my right hand, but you have an option to do anything you want. Some players are very effective tossing with both hands. Some are effective even tossing it with their offhand. If they're right-handed hitters, they even toss it with their left. But I toss it a little lower than Carolyn, take a little shorter approach, but I still like to put that same spin on the ball. It helps me impart more spin as I serve that jump serve, because I want that ball diving down into the court away from the players on the other side. So I use my right hand, toss it a little out in front of me, and take a quick approach, try to hit it over. One of the best areas is between the players, but you also want to hit the lines with this serve. Away from the players is between or to the line. So now I'll try one to my right, kind of cross court, see if I can hit the far sideline. Now I'll try one to my left, down the near sideline. And that's some of the simpler parts of jump serving. All right, digging, we're going to go over a couple of the basics. You want to have a good wide ready position, be able to move to the ball out of that wide ready position and get your platform up to control the ball. Use the speed of the ball to bounce off your arms and just go up high in the middle of the court. We're going to do a drill that we like, which is kind of a coach on one. Carolyn will be coach, I'll be one, I guess. And she's going to hit some balls at me and also make me dive around a little. So I have to have that good ready position, yet be ready to move to get to the ball.
Okay. First we're going to focus in on the overhand dig. So I'm going to hit high at card. She's going to assume the same position with his hands as if he were to dig underhand, but at the last minute he's going to dig overhand. The objective here is to go up high into the middle of the court so that his partner can play the second ball. One more of these. Ha! That's a great dig. Secondly, I'm going to hit hard driven ball to Karch's right, and you're going to watch how he drops his left shoulder to play that ball. Ooh, sorry, Karch. And couple to his left, and you're going to watch how he drops his right shoulder and he maintains the same position throughout the whole skill. Lastly, I'm going to hit a ball where Karch is going to have to take a couple of steps to his right and play the ball, so it's more of a diving, digging motion. Oh, sorry, Karch.
It's a good hit.
That's it. You notice how he breaks his platform so that the ball travels upward. And his defensive position is the same position every time. That's a great pursuit. Karch will do what's necessary to get the ball up, and that may mean falling to the ground or diving out for it. But every time, the objective is for the ball to go up. That's good. We're going to do a shot where Karch is ready for the hard-driven ball, and he's going to notice at the last moment that I'm going to cut the ball short, so he's going to have to run to the ball and play it up high. Ah. Of course, perfectly executed. He's traveling low with his legs, driving hard with his legs, and at the last moment, he's preparing his platform nicely. Yes. Now we'll do a couple to his left. Straight up. Extending out with his arms, with his platform, and playing the ball always up into the middle of the court.
Okay, Coach, that's enough for me.
I think you did pretty good there, Coach.
Well, the overall warm-up is really important. If you want to be able to play the game for a long time and have a good time playing it and stay out of a wheelchair,
Have a good
be
time.
able to jump when you're still, or walk when you're still 55 or 60 years old, you've got to make sure that you warm up, do some jogging either before or after you're stretching, and keep your muscles loose. Don't just jump right into a game. If you swing your shoulder hard without having warmed it up, you can really tear something, and I know some guys who've been through major shoulder surgery and they never get back to where they were before that. So it's just a matter of trying to keep your body the way it's been this whole time and keep it that way until you die. You have to try to think for the long term. If you want to play in events for a long time and be at your best, whether it's recreationally or very competitively, it's best to really take care of your body right from the beginning of the warm-up on through to after the game, and some cool down and stretching even afterwards.
I think the important thing with so much court to cover is to get a general idea of where you want the ball to go and what you're trying to do with your partner. And communication is the only way that you can do that. What we like to do is keep the ball within the middle of the court. So the idea is if they're serving you line, they're pushing you out to the outside of the court, you want to put everything in the middle so that you can control the ball and you can control where it's going. So what I like to do is I like to think of it as an L theory, where if I have to pass the ball, I draw an L in my mind of where I'm going to pass the ball to. So the L would be straight forward and slightly to the right. And Karch's L would be straight forward and slightly to his left. So we're in our minds, we're thinking the same thing of where we're going. Now if I have to come all the way to the outside to pass the ball, my L stays the same. So we're not spreading the court so much. We're keeping that L and we're moving with it the whole way back and forth within the court. So the idea, I think, is to communicate where you want it, call your middle ball, and also keep it within the middle of the court.
That's what we try to do also. We try to, Mark and I, if you and I were playing together, we would try, if the ball came straight to you, I wouldn't want you to pass the ball way over here, because then I'd have to set the ball way over there, and the wind can wreak havoc with that ball on both those trips.
Right.
If you pass the ball just a nice low pass straight in front of you, it travels a lot less in the air. It changes direction a lot less. I can follow it better. You can run straight to it and hit my set then. So that's part of our ball control, and with all the wind that you have to deal with outdoors, you want to keep that ball low and in front of you. Setting, we already talked about. You tell me what you like, and I'll have hopefully learned how to control the ball enough to give you that set. If you like a low set, I'll give it to you low. If I've given it to you too low, tell me. The Karch, that last one was too low. Start setting the ball, bud. I got to put the ball down here. So start doing a job. I want it a little higher. I want it a little closer. I want it a little farther off. You have to communicate constantly during a match. On our offense, a big part of it is, let's say the team served you, and you're going up against a huge blocker like a Pat Powers or somebody who's way over the net on you. You may not want to try to hit the ball really hard and put it down every time, because he may be stuffing your lights out. If he's up there blocking, there's only one other defender behind him. Something's got to be open. And so my job is to call the shot for you. If there's a blocker there and a digger over there, then I want to call the shot. I want to say, line. That's your soft shot over the block. So you can either hit hard and try to avoid the block, or you can do a soft shot over the block to the open area of the court that hopefully I've called correctly.
Now, I've heard quite a few times, being vocal obviously is definitely beneficial. I've heard doubling up, line, line, deep, deep. Is there a reason for that? Just to make sure that the player, your partner hears that?
Sure, the more you communicate, the better.
Right.
Line, line. If you talk to him 4 times in a row, or go, 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 go! Give him the staccato and just get him going. You've got to help your partner in any way you can, and part of that is just getting his adrenaline going and getting him after the ball. What do you two do, you and your partner do, in particular, in trying to call shots team offense to avoid the block or the defense when you're spiking?
Well, say for instance, if my tendency as a hitter is to hit line, say that's my natural swing, then Angela knows that that's my natural swing, so she'll try to set me so that I can swing at that. Now, if that's not open, then she'll give me the angle call. Or at times what we'll do is we'll have a yes-no call. Like I know I prefer to hit the line maybe, or I prefer to hit the angle. So I know, she knows that that's what I'm going to prefer to hit. So the yes, yes, yes would mean, yes, that's open, go ahead. The no, no, no means don't swing away at that, choose the other option. So there's many ways to communicate with your partner, and a lot of it is predetermined.
There's also, you want to talk about it beforehand. Their yes, no, they already know what they're talking about. The other teams don't know about that. Some teams say A, B, or BA, or Randy Stoklos and St. John Smith. They try to confuse other players by doing all these weird calls. But all I'm trying to do is react, and I wait for the digger to go to a spot and call the other spot. If the digger runs over to your line, I'll say angle. You have a nice soft shot anywhere in that half of the court, and you can put the ball away easily.
Okay, now up to now we've been talking a lot of verbal commands. I've seen, and the only other place I've seen it is a catcher in baseball. These guys are doing their signs. You guys do it all the time. What are those signs?
We worked into it. After team offense comes, okay, well they're doing it too. And when we're trying to score points, you and I, we have to call out areas of the court. So if you and I are a team and you're a blocker, let's go up to the net, send you up there. You're a blocker. Now you have to decide what shot you're going to take, because I can't cover this whole court. So the standard call is if you call 1, put a 1 behind your back. That's the standard signal. You can even just get rid of that fist there and just, there we go. You can call 1 that you're blocking the line. In fact, you're blocking the line no matter where the serve goes. If it goes to that player, you're blocking the line, and you're responsible for that half of the court, and I'm responsible for this half of the court. If in fact then, if you changed it and you had called 2, angle, then you would block this half of the court, and I would kind of sneak over at the last second to dig that half. And those calls apply to both players. So if I serve the ball over there, you would still do the same thing. If you had signaled 1, then you'd block the line here. That's how my partner and I usually work it, to try to coordinate our teamwork and cover the most area of court possible. And Carolyn and her partner may do some different things.
Well, there's a different variety of signals you can give each other to indicate what part of the court you're taking and where you're going to play defense. But basically the main objective is to communicate and to cooperate in how you're covering the court. And so if you want to do different signals, that's completely up to you, but the main point is to communicate exactly what you're doing so that you know where to go.
One of the things you think about when you're making those calls are often, let's say, the favorite shots of the other team. If you're playing a team that likes to hit angle, that guy likes to hit angle, and that person likes to hit angle, then you may call 2 a lot more on the block and try to take that away by penetrating over the net and letting me get the other half of the court. So those are things to think about, is adjusting your opponents. And another thing to think about is changing. If that strategy's not working and you're losing 7-1, it's obvious that whatever you were doing, you better give up on and change right away. So then change, and being able to adapt and adjust, even in the middle of a game when things aren't going that well, is one way the best teams succeed in the long run.
Be like,